grinding my gears. So YouTube has this thing, and they've had it, where you can optionally give them your demographic information. What they say, this is in quotes, so I believe I got it exactly. The information you provide will not be used to impact an individual content's performance in YouTube systems. We want to ensure our systems do not reflect unintentional bias. The data from creator demographics will be used to evaluate parts of YouTube, such as our search, discovery, and monetization systems. If we do find errors that affect certain communities, we'll focus on improving the training of our systems to make them more accurate and inclusive. And that's just ridiculous. This isn't going to affect you, but we're going to change things based on the results that you give. Like, what a double speak nonsense.
Listen, this isn't going to affect you. We're just going to look into some stuff and then make it harder for white people videos to get viewed. So we need to know your race.
Well, here's the thing.
But it's not going to affect you. We just want to know your race so that we can see if you're white.
Yes. So, and it's so obvious what's going to happen if the changes that are made. Like, first off, why is the demographic data, and I'll say this 100 times, that they want race, gender, sexual orientation, and then maybe disability? Like, why not income or veteran status, or if you had an abusive parent, or like, there's a lot of people who have been marginalized in the world for a lot of different things.
How many of your parents were drug addicts?
Yeah. There's a ton of things that you could, are you an ex-addict? All of these kinds of things could be used to... You could check on them, but the only ones that we care about constantly are these ones where we have lots of people in position of privilege that check all of the boxes, and a lot of people outside of actual privilege that don't check any of these boxes. And to be clear, I check all of the, I have the demographics for that YouTube is about to discriminate against, but I also am in a position of privilege, mostly because lucky draw with genetics and family, and year born. Those are, as far as I can tell, the biggest advantages that I've had by far. And people that didn't get those three, but still, are white, straight males, are in a way worse spot than many other people. And then also, how are you going to determine whether it's inclusive? Is it the number of creators compared to the population, the number of creators on the platform relative to the number of videos made? It's just absurd. And I am getting tired of this ridiculous... this poor reasoning, I suppose, this ideological, and I hate using that word because it's used as a cudgel so many times. And if anyone disagreed with me, I would be happy to explain why, but I've done it many times before on the podcast. It's just, I don't want to rephrase these arguments, so I'm sorry to resort to insults. This is not good. This is literally, and what will they do if whatever the metric that they set is we're going to check, to make sure that it's this. What if black women are overrepresented?
Keep it.
Will we keep it, or will we adjust Yeah, exactly.
I would bet all of my money.
150%. So we're only interested in adjusting one way, but it's what if it reflects unintentional bias in a way that you want? So there's intentional bias if you're unwilling to change it in a certain direction. It's crazy, man.
Just to be clear, though, no one from YouTube would even deny that. They would just look you right in the face and go, "Yeah."
And then what they say is this is based on history. And again, we could have the whole conversation about history because it's not based on history. I don't want to have an argument with a ghost straw man in my head. I would love for someone who believed this to come on the podcast and talk to me about it. But man, I read this and it sucks. I think I've mentioned it, but totally fine. I'm going to be okay. The first times in my life, and this is, I totally get it, very lucky, because I want to make clear, I think that there are positions of privilege that are related to race. It's to not experience racism is a lucky thing for people. And I mostly haven't in my life. I have recently. I have been denied speaking positions explicitly and implicitly based on gender and race. And it's happened a couple of times in the last several months. And it's totally fine. I'm okay. Don't need to do anything. But I don't think that this is an appropriate solution to
it's not slowing down, dude. It's speeding up.
Oh, it's certainly speeding up.
You're never going to speak again. I just want to clarify.
No, I'll speak.
Your cis white ass is never going to speak again.
I'll speak as much. No, that's not true. And let's not get, I know that you're just joking, but I'll be allowed to have this podcast, and I'll be allowed to, maybe with some ding from the algorithm once they start taking that into account. Like I'm not, and luckily I am successful. I will be successful in both personal and monetary terms. I've made it through. What I'm concerned about, for instance, is the guy that I told you about in the last week's podcast. Gruber, come here. Is he bothering you, Justin? My dog is like spinning. Come here, guy.
I pet him, and now he wants
come here.
a little taste.
Showed him who you are, boy. This is who he is. He's a real troublemaker. I don't need to elaborate too much more, but it's a real bummer, and I wish it would stop, and I don't think it's good. And one of the reasons that, not that I made the podcast, but that things that I want to say on the podcast is just to raise my hand and say that I don't think that this is okay or good, and here's the reasons why. And so if you disagree, I will tell you more of the reasons why in other podcasts. Let us know. But it's no bueno. That is my stand. That is my hot take. No bueno.
Yeah, wow. Riveting stuff. I got one more thing, which I just thought was interesting. California passed a law that makes it a civil sexual battery offense for someone to engage in stealthing. You know what stealthing is?
No.
Removing a condom during sex without verbal consent from their partner. The state is the first in the country to prohibit the act, and I think that's great. My question is, how do you prove this? So I read it, and everyone was very excited about it. Like, I was like, this is great. I'm actually, this is great.
That was my.
Make stealthing a crime. Make stealthing a crime. Yeah, you can't remove you can't say you're going to use a condom, be having sex, then take the condom off sneakily, and have unprotected sex without the person knowing about it and consenting.
Well, I have a couple questions.
So you're going to go to court, and the girl or guy, someone's going to say they removed the condom without telling me, and then the other person is going to go, nah, unless you're texting friends bragging about stealthing, being like, oh, it's so great, I stealthed this person.
Yeah.
How is this ever going to be settled? How would you possibly find someone guilty of this?
Yeah. I don't know. I have the same reaction to you, which is, I think I would actually like that to be the case, that was criminally enforced. But I also want to know, and I don't know if this is legal, what about poking holes in a condom? Is that, we know some baby traps.
That I don't know the law, but I think that should be also illegal.
I agree. What about saying that you've been taking your birth control when you know that you haven't?
Well, this is the thing. When you know that you haven't, penalize that. Make that illegal.
Yeah.
But now you go to court and she knowingly stopped taking her birth control, and she goes, I just forgot. It's not a crime to forget. Well, and I agree. It's not a crime.
To be clear, I don't think it should be forgot. I think it should have to be a verbal, hey, have you been taking your birth control regularly? And that person says yes. You know what I mean? I don't think it should be. Well,
maybe they think yes, but they don't remember that 7 days ago they forgot for 2 days, and that throws off the whole functionality of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I think if you miss 2 pills, you're not totally off, but now you're officially off base.
You've hurt your chances.
But if that happened 10 days ago and you ask someone, have you been taking your birth control? They go, the last 8 days I've been taking. I've been taking it.
So I agree. Enforcement's the issue here, but
philosophically, it's very easy to say what should and shouldn't be the law. This one particular,
it sounds like
how do you,
as long as nobody's effectively proving this, then I'm actually okay. I'm okay with this. Weirdly, the law should be on the books, and it should never work because people can just he said, she said it.
I was just curious when I saw it because I was like, this sounds great.
Unless somebody admits to it, unless somebody's like, oh yeah, I did that.
That's what I'm saying. I think you literally are only looking at wiretapping or sending bragging texts to friends
or social media posts. People are weird, man.
People, sure. Or you'd have to make a TikTok about how great it was that you stealthed someone. Yeah, at which point that's evidence.
I think you'll get a couple people like that. In fact, you might get more than a couple.
Yeah. Probably not once it's a law, but
I do think, and I hope that it cuts both ways.
I take that back because people actually do TikToks of them doing illegal stuff all the time. It's how they get caught.
I don't know if this is the case, but I will be disturbed by this if it doesn't include poking holes in condoms.
It says either party.
Okay. Remove. Well, how does I guess the woman sneakily removes a condom? How would that happen?
I don't know. To be fair, I've had condoms break and not noticed. So I'm sure potentially if I had been drinking and someone yoinked it and I didn't notice, I might not notice till after maybe.
Sure.
It's not impossible. Listen, flashback to when you were 20 years old and getting really drunk. Mm-hmm. You know?
Maybe. Yeah, it's been a long time. I haven't been drunk like that.
Hopefully you'd notice now.
Okay. Yeah.
Imagine this. You're 34. You've lost all sensation in your penis. So you have no idea what's going on down there.
Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.